Hey yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, man. Make sure you like and subscribe, share the video out, and all the other good stuff. Okay. Without further ado, let's hop into it. So, as you by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about healer artifacts. What artifacts do I recommend that you rank up, and what rank should you rank them up to? Because not every artifact requires you to rank it all the way up to 200. Please do not feel super pressure to spend all your money, all your allowance, whatever the case may be, your stipend, your check, etc. on these artifacts. And if you want to know how to rank up all the artifacts on the game for free, check out my video, okay? It should be coming up right after this one up on the channel, so stay tuned in for that. So make sure you subscribe, put that post notification bell, set it to all, and let's hop into this one right here. So, like I said already, I'm going to talk about what artifacts should you rank up, as well as what rank should you rank them up to. I'm going to cover an array of things: EOG healing, battle healing, pure healing, all that good stuff. Just taking all that into a combination of a mix of what the current state of the game is and what is the projected future to come going to be as well. So without further ado, let's hop into it. So, everyone knows Purple Healing Ray is probably one of the best healer artifacts that ever came out for Dcuo, for healers, okay? The devs have graced us with this artifact here. It is absolutely incredible. Now, I do have mine all the way to 200, because the more you get it up there, the better it gets. I ain't gonna front. You get, at 200, you get the increased cooldown, you know, it may reset itself, as well as you just getting the power back from it, which helps you out tremendously. Especially for me being electricity, where we all are a little spammy at times. Not going to front. That helps us out tremendously. But you do not need this artifact up to 200. My personal recommendation up, just get it to 160, okay? I know that is still a lot, but trust me, that is 1,000, no, not even 1,000. My apologies, y'all. 1 million XP, artifact XP, that you are saving right there. Now, to get it to rank 160, you will still need to get it to, I believe it is 600. Where is it at? Here we go. For rank 60, you will still need to get it up to 678,722. If you want to know all the different breakdowns of what rank equal what XP and how many catalysts and how much source marks those catalysts will cost you, I will have all that in the description, as well as a pinned comment in the comment section down below, so look out for that, okay? But 678,722 experience to get it to rank 160. Honestly, to get it rank 160 is a lot easier if you are going to go ahead and spend money and get the 75,000 perfected ones that we have over here. Oh, right here. For about, well, it's $9 marketplace cash, or $10 honestly if you're not a member. Right here, you only need about 4 of these. More than likely, one of the 4 is going to crit, so it's going to cover that little bit of change that's going to be left over. That 78,722. My apologies, I couldn't say it for some reason. But let's say you're very unlucky for whatever reason, and you have this artifact at completely 0, you will need to go ahead and at least get 5 instead of 4 of those big ones, or just get a whole bunch of the small ones that you get in game. A lot of nth metal detectors and nth metal caches should help you out, as well as the stuff you've been collecting over time, especially from the daily stuff. With ones like these, that's going to help you out tremendously. So rank 160 is what you're going to want. These other ones I'm going to try to speed through. That one I just want to get a gist of, you know, what we're going to be at. Now, EOG, a lot of people know what EOG is. I don't really have to spend a lot of time covering it. If you want a more in-depth breakdown, let me know in the comment section down below. I will try to type it out, and if typing out is not going to help you, let me also know that. I will make a whole video for you, okay? But EOG, I will personally recommend that you get it to rank 160. Rank 160 is all you really need. You're going to get the amount of supercharge and health, recovery, and generation for so long. That will be the full time of 6 seconds for you to maximize that supercharge output, supercharge healing or regeneration, whatever you call it, per second. The only thing and only benefit you get for getting this up to rank 200 will be the additional stat bonus. So the 5% dominance, health, and restoration if you are a heal or a tank. And if you're a DPS or troll, you get the extra 5% might, precision, and vitalization. Okay, so those stats are, cherry on top, the whipped cream on top, icing on the cake, all that good stuff. But you don't really need it, if we're being honest. Rank 160 will do you just fine, do just as justice. Keep your duration all the way to 6 seconds, and if you're a healer or a tank, it will allow you to EOG spam perfectly fine without no problem whatsoever at all. Now, if you are finding yourself, especially on the healer side, struggling a little bit with having your heals, heal big enough or, hard enough for you to keep the group up, then you may want to look into upgrading this all the way up to 200 for the additional 5% bonus in dominance and resto, because dominance and resto will both not only help your shields go up and have a bit tankier shield, but also your actual healing that you are able to output to your team to go up as well, allow you to heal more, crit higher, all that good stuff. Okay, so 160 is my recommendation, but 200 would be just fine. Now, these are in order and how I would rank them. These top two are pretty much the top two ones I would definitely recommend for any healer and all healers to definitely get. EOG spam is prevalent right now, so that's the thing to do. Whether EOG spamming or pure healing or some type of jack of all trades build, Purple Healing Ray is pretty much all-encompassing artifact that every healer should be running. Unless you are battle healing in a very specific build, we can get to that a little bit later in the video, then you may be excluded from Purple Healing Ray, but other than that, you should be running this, okay? The next one, because of EOG spam is so prevalent, will be Scrap of Soul Cloak. Now, I'm not going to front y'all, this is one of those ones where I would recommend that you get it all the way up to 200, because 200 will allow you to get not only the supercharged generation all the way up to 27% and reduce your supercharge cooldowns by 22.5%, but also get you 7% supercharge back whenever you use a supercharge. Now, this 7% does not scale, it is just a flat out 7%. So whether you're using a 10,000 power cost ability of 5,000 or 2,500, so for example, even if I use Call of the Deep 10,000, right, 7% back from that. Tranquil Pool 10,000, I'll get 7% back for that. Whirlpool, which is only 5,000, still 7% of my total supercharge bar. Not 7% of the supercharge that you're using, 7% of your bar back. So it's a flat out thing. Even if you use Pheromone Bloom, you get the same 7%. So that's why you're more encouraged to use cheaper superchargers with that. Now, with that being said, that is very powerful and it is much more improved by an additional 2% over the chest piece white mod socket that you can have. And since, as pretty much any healer should be running, power efficiency allow you to spam out the heals as needed, especially when the group is in more dire critical situations. This is going to be very key to a lot of things, especially in majority of content, let me be honest with you. So you having this all the way up to 200 is going to benefit you in the long run and allow you to keep that constant EOG spam in the fields going. That's what people, when they have this all the way to 200, you're allowed to spam 3 supercharges back to back to back to back and keep it going effortlessly. Okay, that's only if you have this up to 200. That would be a recommendation. The next will be Transformation Card, and a lot of people are going to look at me a little sideways for that, but I personally love Transformation Card. I've grown to love it. I used to not use it whatsoever at all, but I have used it increasingly over the past few years, and it has done wonders. I've seen and became a little bit of a believer with the crits that this thing can put out. You dramatically go, I've said this in my other builds, go from having to spam this, put 2 pulls out and spam your party heal, group heal, party heal, group heal, spam all this up to keep everyone up, keep going, right? To you literally saying, forget all that. I'm gonna hit this, done. Whole group, whole raid groups up. Or even, hey, group heal, priority heal maybe, and another group heal. Whole raid group is done up. Because you're gonna crit so much, it's just gonna be like you don't have to keep using so many abilities. It's fantastic. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's absolutely insane. I like to incorporate this into any build that I can. A lot of times when I'm fully up on supercharge and I only have like 2 supercharge in my loadout, I'm not gonna front. I switch out Shroud and Soul Cloak for a transformation card just so I can keep everyone's healing up and don't have to worry about too much power utilization right there, because I'm only gonna use a couple abilities anyways to keep everyone up and be able to still do a little bit more damage too, because it kind of acts as a dual purpose artifact in that sense. It's just fantastic all around. And honestly, you only need to get this one up to rank 80. The initial one where you get the crit, because you get the full 20% crit chance and 30% crit magnitude on your attacks and heals from the get-go. Now you will be reduced by, I believe it's 21% of your total damage and healing. Now healing is not really going to matter too much. Damage, that will be quite a hefty penalty, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Now, obviously, the higher you get this up, you will be better off, because you'll technically be gaining 2% more damage output and healing output for every time you rank this on through. Now, I would say more on the damage side of things is when you really need to rank this on up. If you're just a pure healer, have this at rank 80 and you're perfectly fine. You don't need to worry about really anything else. The crits will carry it the rest of the way. Now, if you're a DPS, I would definitely recommend you probably get this to about 120. 120 will allow you to go under that 20%. I believe would be 19%, if I'm not mistaken. 19% is where you'll be at for that rank 120 transformation card for the reduction that you take. Now that will be a little bit better since you are getting a 20% critical chance increase. That would now be, a lower number, so you can justify it in terms of your entire build and just overall damage output. Okay. Now on to the Page of Destiny. Page of Destiny is definitely something you want to pair with Purple Healing Ray if you're a pure healer or trying to do a jack of all trades sometimes. And for the longest time, I like to do these 3 artifacts here and run those as my main 3 and just have one cheap like Pheromone Bloom or Metabolic Boost or something at the very end here, and that would pretty much be my loadout. But Page of Destiny is just all around good. It's pretty much the electric biocap amplified on out into an artifact. That's essentially all it is. It's the little safety net that every healer loves to use now because, y'all stole a little bit of electricity's power, not going front, but I digress, okay? And it makes even your group heal, and to empower that, not only making it heal more, but heal more people as well. So that's just fantastic all around. But for this Page of Destiny, I honestly, if I'm being quite honest, I honestly recommend that y'all go ahead and try to get this up to 200, just because you will get that group heals up to 2 additional targets. So if you're in a lot of raid encounters, raid scenario, raid groups, and you're a healer, especially if you're like a solo healer, which most healers end up having to become, whether we like to or not, you're definitely gonna see that utilization of that 2 extra targets just do phenomenal for you. It's gonna help save the group on countless times, whether you're EOG spamming, trying to do a jack of all trades build, or just even pure healing to keep everyone up. You're gonna be utilizing this Page of Destiny, okay? I know some people like to run Page of Destiny over Purple Healing Ray when they're EOG spamming, so they like to pair their artifacts up like this. I've seen it work for a lot of people. They like the safety net, especially like Elite Plus. But I was, honestly, most of us, we going like this, okay? Let's be honest. But nonetheless, this Page of Destiny is fantastic, and highly recommend that you go ahead and get it up, especially if you are going to be taking healing seriously. If you're just going to be healing, here and there, occasional, DPS your main role, healing you only have to do every so often, then don't even worry about that. You be okay with Purple Healing Ray, Eye Gemini, Scrap of Soul Cloak, maybe Transformation card as needed. You'll be fine. Now on to my battle healing, which will be the next one over. All these are in order, mind you, of how I'll recommend, you leveling them up. Okay. For battle healing, Clarion is fantastic. Even if you want to go ahead and just throw this out and just do a little bit more damage. Now this will be for battle healing in a precision manner. So if you are very weapon focused, now if you're going to be weapon focused, I recommend they use something like Brawl into Shuriken Storm for that AoE damage right there. Or even the dual wield into Flurry Shot, one that everyone uses for single target. Okay, so dual wield into Flurry Shot down here. You use one of those two because that's going to be your best bet to do the most damage, for weapon mastery and all that good stuff. And you definitely got to have that weapon buff incorporated into your loadout, and hopefully you have a shield. Something like Water does phenomenal with this because Water has two different shields, so they're able to utilize and take advantage of shields, especially when it's paired with something like Demon Fang, which we'll get into here in a sec. But nonetheless, Clarion is something you definitely want to try to get up to 200. But if you're pressed on the XP, 160 can still do you a little bit of wonders. Now your shield efficiency will be decreased by 100% till you get up to that 100%, where it gets increased by that, as you see in that Clarion's Guard. And the restorative melody is something that doubles its effectiveness on both percentages on your priority heal, amount of health that it heals when you're doing your weapon attacks, as well as your weapon buff as well, because it empowers, empowered when activating your weapon buff 30% of your priority heal when you're up to 200, but it's only 15% when you're at 160 and everything else below. So keep that in mind. You'll also, in the Arion's Might, be able to deal an additional, double the amount of damage you were doing before. It was 20% when you get to 160, which is good, and it goes up to 40%. It'll be 6% up to 12%. So it's just double right there across the board. Essentially, and with the Clarion's Guard, it's gonna just do a full 100%. So 200 is where you ideally want to be at, especially if you're gonna use this artifact seriously. But if you just want to try around, experiment with it to see how it is, even rank 160 will still allow you to get pretty much all the benefits that you can, especially with that Arion's Might, with that extra damage right there. Okay. And then for Demon Fang, like I talked about before, it pairs beautifully well with Clarion, especially when you have a shield up, which Clarion gives you a shield, mind you, and your allies a shield. Demon Fang will then allow this to be increased when affected by shield, and hitting an enemy. Restoration is increased by 10%, and precision is increased by 6%. Now that is if and only if you are all the way up to 200. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, if you don't want to get it that high and you just want to kind of use this to keep your power generation up, especially if y'all are going to be using like weapons expert focus here in the stat points, or even do a hybrid thing and you run out of power a lot of times, then I'd highly recommend that you just at least get it to 120. After that, 140, 60, and 80, those are okay. You're gonna get some, the additional damage and resto and precision, how it scales with the percentages there, which is gonna be good. But you really want to get it up to 200 to get that additional 10% resto and 6% precision, which is gonna pair beautifully well when you have that shield up and active. But rank 120 will be fine, just so you get a good taste of how it is. Now, here comes the part where these artifacts I don't really recommend in most builds. I don't know what that is. In most builds, but I see a lot of times in Elite, I even use it myself, especially in Elite Plus. Lazarus Pit Water. It saves us plenty of times. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's more of a tank artifact nowadays, but I would even say for the healers, just to make sure you are staying up, because more than likely it's gonna not only keep you from being knocked out, so you don't have to use that, and put your group at a disadvantage for whatever, which especially in Elite Plus, if you go down even one time, a lot of times the whole group is gonna die and wipe out, depending on the group, of course, but nonetheless. Lazarus Pit Water will help you out tremendously, and even when it, saves you, put you on the brink of death and bring you back to life, essentially, you're able to heal yourself up. It does debuff you and kind of make it decrease your healing by a set amount, and as you rank it up, it's going to go down by the set amount of healing that it decreases your healing by. But you're a healer, and especially any competent healer can heal themselves back up, especially if you have power. If not, just drink a soda, you'll be fine, and you'll be able to keep on going. Now, if you don't heal yourself back up, there is a caveat where you will be knocked out again, okay? And the amount of seconds do go up as you rank this one up. I personally recommend that you rank it up to 120 at least, so you get 30-minute cooldown of whenever this be able to take effect. On up. If you need to be more effective and you need to use a lot more, especially doing a lot of Elite Plus and stuff, then hey, get it to 160, try it at that. If 15 minutes is still not enough for you, then hey, get up to 200 where you get that 5 minutes, and then everything works out perfectly for you, because when it brings you back up, you get 50% of your health back, and you only get your healing decreased by 50%, so that's not going to be too bad there. I like to stay at 160 personally, just because I'm able to utilize this artifact when I want to use it, a few times throughout the raid or a few times throughout the alert as needed. So hey, 160 is my sweet spot. But for my personal recommendation for y'all, especially, not a lot of people have a lot of artifact XP because y'all don't watch my videos, and my upcoming video of how to get every artifact up to 200 easily without spending any money in DC. You just rank it up to 120, you'll be fine. Okay. Now, strategist card, I do not see a lot of people using this anymore. Some sorcery healers still use it, which is very interesting why they do. But nonetheless, this can be an okay artifact. I personally would not recommend it over any of these. I would even recommend that you use something like Clarion or even Demon Fang over strategist card. It's just not what's the meta nowadays, if I'm being honest. You want to definitely EOG spam. If you're not EOG spamming, and then you want to pure heal. Not EOG spam or pure heal and just be a jack of all trades. Do something like this or do something like that. Okay, with these three or with these three. One or the other, okay? Just pick something like that and you'll be good to go. Okay, you not need strategist card. Yes, technically you have the opportunity to not only be like transformation guard where you can deal damage out and have damage dots on your enemies, as well as healing dots on your allies at the same time, which can be intriguing to do, but Purple Healing Ray gives us a nice heal over time to our allies. That is going to be way better than this, and it's a lot easier to proc, so there's no real reason to use this anymore. It used to be for a nice heal over time, but that's not the case anymore because we have Purple Healing right now, so there's no point of using this. But pretty much I digress. If you want to use it, just get up to 160. You really want to get it for the double proc chance of tactical advantage, which allows us to actually utilize the strategist card in its full effect. If you want to get up to 200, I mean, by all means, you're going to increase it by 30%. I would say if you're healing, you don't need that at all. If you're doing damage, 30% is a nice bonus to it. But do keep in mind that this strategist card is supposed to get nerfed in the upcoming artifact rework here soon. So yeah, 160 at the most. Now, Orb of Orion is something I never want to ever use again. I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand this artifact now. I couldn't stand when everyone was using and obsessed with this because it was the latest healer artifact and one of the only few artifacts that we could use, especially with the Star Heart Fragment, which never use that, by the way. It's horrible. You should never ever use that. The health buff that you're trying to give to your teammates is trash, to say the least. Don't use that. This is another one that you should not use. Hold on, where's Star Heart Fragment? I think I got rid of it. I may have not of. Oh, I forgot to even incorporate the eye. Huh. I think I might have got rid of it. Because it was that trash. It was not good at all. Okay. This, if for some reason, if you want to use this, I know a couple people that still like to use this. 160 is absolute max you should do. Yes, at 200, you get it out for an additional 3 seconds on top of that, which will roughly translate into 2 more heals, which can be good, and it will resist crowd control effects, so it can actually keep healing and not be interrupted while healing, like yourself. But this is something that should not be utilized. The power consumption cost that it just causes is ridiculous. The 300% increase in your priority heal is something that you can easily just make up for with transformation cards. So there's no point of ever using this artifact ever again unless it gets reworked. Okay. Now I will say for Heart of Ices, this is something that you could potentially use. There's no real point in using it. That's why I put it under the Laster's Pit Water here. Now that I remember about actually doing it. But yeah, there's no real point in using it because just in the playing iconic powers of War to Power itself, you're gonna get the increased healing anyways, and you're not only gonna increase the healing for you being the healer, but also give all the different buffs to your group. Okay, so if you use it, you give the group not only power but all the buffs associated with War to Power for each person in your group, if that makes sense. Okay, so Heart of Isis is just taking those buffs and just slightly amplifying them and just getting your own little supercharge added with it. And since today's state of the game and climate's more about you recharging everyone else's supercharge, not so much you using a supercharge to cycle through and slightly buff people in ways that they're not used to, this is not really going to be usable for the time being, at least in the current sandbox meta. Depending on how these artifacts get reworked, like Eye Gemini, Strategist card, etc., will determine if this one is going to be usable for healers. At the current state of the game, it's not really. Just like Strategist card is not really going to be a good usable one. Orion is if you use this and you tell someone that I told you to use it, I'm gonna be like, I don't associate with you. Okay, I'm gonna just be like that. I don't associate with you at all. Okay. Don't talk to me. Because no, I cannot stand this artifact. Oh my goodness, it was horrible. Always run out of power. I can't stand that. But look, nonetheless, I digress. Let me not go on a tangent here any more than I already have. Without further ado, man, hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully y'all liked how I was going about this stuff. This for a rank, just rank 80, gets you all the blatant powers. All the extra ranks at the moment don't really do too much extra for you as a healer. So yeah, rank 80, you'll be fine. But outside of that, hopefully y'all like the video. Hopefully y'all like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully y'all share it out, watch the ads. Comment down below any criticism, any kind of help or support you want to give to other people, any one of your recommendations, how you rank the artifacts yourself. If you disagree, if you agree with me, X, Y, Z into the third. Okay, without further ado, I will be posting all the other roles, including DPS, which should be next up on the list to go ahead and cover for this double artifact XP. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Look in your recommendation section because my video might be already there. If it's not, click on my channel and you'll be able to see it as a new upload. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Without further ado, peace and shalom.